Was there any interesting incidents that happened during the shooting of this film? Any particular incident that you still remember?
Um, I think one of the best things about shooting this film was that my crew was incredibly mixed. On camera, I had Mr. Santosh Sivan and all his team, who were largely South Indians. So he would be speaking Malayalam with them, English with me. Then we had very English, all right, Gov, all right, yeah, all right, mate. Very English kind of crew, who couldn't understand what sometimes some of Santosh's guys were saying. Then in America we had a Hollywood kind of crew, So we had many different languages going on, and although we all speak English, the way English is spoken here is very different to the way it's spoken and understood in England and in America. So language-wise, it was always very interesting. I would say something to Santosh. Santosh would then go to the others. Everyone would look around and think he was shouting, but actually he was just expressing, in a rush what he wanted his guys to do. So it took us a little time to get used to all the languages that were going on.
There has been a major difference between what the English audience is like and what the Indian audience is like. It's more of songs and dances, but what we have in India. So would there be a difference in the English version and the Hindi version of your film?
I think in the past that was probably true, but I think one of the reasons I made Bride and Prejudice was actually to bridge that gap and to show audiences who aren't used to Hindi cinema what Hindi cinema is about, and also to show audiences here that you can make an international movie with a little bit of Hindi influence in it, but a strong storyline and characters that carry your story forward. So I think it'll be something new for all audiences. But I think there are really not very many differences at all between the Indian version and the Western version, certainly in the English. The Hindi is something else. Hindi is much more, the dialogues have been written and dubbed much more to appeal to a Hindi-speaking audience. But one of the things I'm really excited about is that in England and America, we are also going to be showing some prints in Hindi, because there are a lot of people who are interested, young people, other Indian people who've grown up in England, and also older people, their parents, grandparents, who want to see the film in English but also want to see it in Hindi. So we're definitely going to be showing the film in Hindi in England and America as well.
We can understand Bride and Prejudice, but why the Hindi name Balle Balle, Amritsar to LA? Why that name?
Well, the Hindi name of Balle Balle from Amritsar to LA came up here in India with the Indian distributor, and really the main song in the film, the first song in the film, is called Balle Balle. Of course, Balle Balle is very common to us Punjabis, it's part of our psyche. I think Balle Balle from Amritsar to LA also shows the scope of the film, that starts in Amritsar, goes to England, goes to LA, then comes back to Amritsar. So it shows you that it's not just set in India. But more than that, I think it's a title that shows that you're going to have a good time. And that's what this film is about. It's all about having a good time. It's not necessarily a weepy. It's not a thriller. It's not a murder mystery. I mean, it is a fun romance. And it's for people who really want to go out and have a good time and be a little bit challenged with how they view cinema.
Talking about the songs and music, what kind of songs have you really chosen for your film, whether it's the English audience or the Indian audience?
Well, the songs are all very, very different. And the first one is full-on Punjabi, Balle Balle, kind of Mr. Yash Chopra style, Karan Johar style, girls running down the staircase, dancing with each other at a wedding party, So that's a very typical kind of Punjabi style Hindi movie sequence. Then we move to a much more a song style that to me comes from Mr. Raj Kapoor's style, in the sense that he always used to there were always songs in his films which featured people on the street, the chawala or the beggars or just people living on the street. It wasn't just the hero and heroine that used to sing. It was all these other characters would sing as well. So there's that element in Marriage Has Come to Town. But also, for me, it's also got a touch of Fiddler on the Roof about it. And the opening song in Fiddler on the Roof which is all about tradition and maintaining your traditions. So for me, it's a combination of those two. And then throughout the film, there's a song that is very much like one of the songs from Greece. There's that's a comedy song. There are slow songs. There's a love song, which is very typical to Hindi film style love song. But at the same time, it could also sound a bit like South Pacific. So I think with me, my influences are so eclectic that it's hard for me to say, okay, this was a pure Hindi influence or this was a pure Western influence. I've grown up with all the influences. So that's kind of, sometimes I have no control what comes out in the final version of the film. And I think Bride and Prejudice really is a film that's a combination of all these different musicals that I grew up with as a child.